Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here in this on this Saturday. We're going to do a full update, a little bit of a weekend update. I also wanted to touch upon the move yesterday because yesterday in the evening I actually did still make a video on Bitcoin. I mean, we spoke about whether a general market crash was to be expected, right? So that's this video. Still relevant, so if you're interested in that and if you just want to know my general thoughts on some sort of a market crash this summer, but also on the short term, then surely watch that. But that was just before we actually got this spike down, which in no shape or form, and that's also what I said in the video, I would say that this is a market crash. I mean, ultimately, especially if you go to the 4-hour time frame here, Bitcoin just like, this is just, well, normal price action, I would not call it. But it's price action according to the structure we have. I mean, Bitcoin has been rotational, mainly in this tighter range right here between 106,600 and 103,150 now, because of the high volume. It has shifted down a little bit where the value area is, so where most of the volume has been traded. But then it's to be expected that we get moves in that area, right? And we spike down a little bit lower to the value area low of the entire price action since the beginning of May. So that is what we did, but we have respected that so far. And fundamentally, I don't see any reason why we would have a bearish breakdown. So no, I mean, this is just normal price action, at least when we're talking about it technically. And then I do think, I mean, when we take a look at that price action yesterday evening, specifically here on the 1-hour time frame, like the volume was quite high, right? The volume was quite high, and there was no major news. If you take a look at the fundamentals, so if we take a look at the S&P 500, yes, we had a bit of a pullback, but yesterday, when that pullback occurred, for Bitcoin specifically, the S&P 500 was stable, so there also wasn't a fundamental reason. So in that sense, it's an interesting move. I mean, it makes you think, all right, well, who sold or who fat fingered one big sell order of Bitcoin? But ultimately, that doesn't matter. We held the structure right here, and I expect that structure to continue holding. I mean, at this point of time, I don't really see any reason why the structure would not hold. Apart from that, weekends over the last month have very often been quite positive. I mean, you can see that right here. Bitcoin on Saturday and Sunday has been quite bullish. Going into Monday as well, we had quite a lot of short positions being opened on Bitcoin yesterday here. So I have reason to believe that some of those shorts are still open. So that also gives us, another confluence as to why we would expect those shorts to be closed in the weekend. And then technically, like I said, we're still holding the range. We're at the bottom of the range. We have some imbalances to the top of the range. So I think it's most likely for Bitcoin here that we will bounce and rally up higher. Now, personally, I do have to say I have a long position open on Bitcoin. I still had a limit order open, to my surprise, at 102.5, but that means that I'm obviously a little bit biased to the upside. But yeah, I mean, I gave you everything that you need to know regarding Bitcoin right now, with the imbalance, with the structure, with the fundamentals. Now, obviously, and I say this in every video, so my apologies for being a little bit repetitive, but it's still very relevant. That if we actually do get some escalation in the tension and the conflict in the Middle East, like, yes, then we can spike down lower, and that's also what I covered in the video yesterday, right? Talking about that crash. So that is a possibility, but that's speculation whether we're going to get that today, yes or no. And I think it makes more sense to just assume that that's not going to happen. And then, yes, at some point of time it is going to happen, and you'll be caught off guard. Maybe you can also plan some trade setups for it, of course. But until then, I would say, keep your eyes on, be aware of the fundamentals, but focus on the technicals, because the fundamentals are also very often priced in to the technicals. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. That's what I expect over the course of this weekend. I don't expect a lot of movement, but a bit of a slow move up I do expect, where the main area is that point of control around 104,700. So that's my first conservative price target, and then we can also rally a little bit higher into the value area low right here at 106.6. But those are my thoughts. Hopefully you'll have a great day. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.